my exes.
Acting by night. Keep going crazy.
Show off your skin, that shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up. Getting them checks, hitting your base, racks up. Keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You're just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
Hey, Boots, hey. So tonight I want to talk about how the partner you choose can either make or break you and how your life can be easily ruined by dealing with the wrong man. Child, let's get this started by talking about Summer Walker and her new boo.
So Summer Walker apparently tried to do a pop-out, a hard launch, if you will, of her new little boo thing. And the girl said, I know that ain't my stalker. Poor little Tay. Summer can get a lot of things, but one thing she can't get is a break when it comes to these niggas. Let's get into it. So she had posted up this picture of her and her new boyfriend, and it was reposted by a page called Wave Check. They said Summer Walker shows off her new man. And that was when the post was retweeted by another young lady who said, OMG, this is the man who exposed me in 2015. Most of the stuff that's out there of me without my consent, I sent it to him, and he posted it when I said I didn't want to talk to him anymore. OMG, this dude is crazy and evil. Miss B Nasty had an issue with him as well. And so I was like, oh my God, not the revenge corn. Oh my God. But you know, you can't always give a whole lot of credit to things like this because people really just be saying. They just be trying to go viral. They just be trying to get their little 5 minutes. But that was until this person started tweeting, this lovely lady. And she went on to say, also, when I met this man, I didn't know he had an OF because I met him on Instagram through his photography page, Lush Legends. It wasn't until after our first link that he told me he had an OF account, but he would delete it if we made an account together. I wasn't on that type of time, so he kept the account up, but he insisted that he was going to continue messing with women on there, but it's only business and that he loved me, LMAO. So once I cut him off, not shortly after that, I see he's done made a joint OF account with another girl. So I'm like, okay, this dude is strange, LMAO. But that was short-lived because a week later, he reached back out to me, confessing his love for me and that he deleted the OF account. And so I was like, what is going on? And that's when the Miss B Nasty that the first girl was talking about, that's when she tweeted out. And she went on to say, he was telling me he loved me, and when I declined, said he would pull up to my city and make me love him. He tells new models that we dated and I've never met him. He locks models out of accounts. He runs accounts like he's the model, etc. for a decade now. And then this person said a decade. He pulled the same stuff with me. He was acting like we were in a relationship and I've never met him in person. He got real crazy real fast. He has serious issues. This happened to me 9 years ago. Thank you so much for sharing as well. And then that's when these old tweets from 2021 resurfaced of these women talking about the same man. The first one says, when I first started, I worked with him, but we never established a relationship or anything, so I started working with someone else. He saw it and immediately attacked me in messages, FaceTime me, calling me all types of names, saying he expected it because I'm nothing but a young H. Then the Miss B Nasty girl said he wants to keep every model to himself and tries to control all their social medias and even tries to control their personal lives. I wish more people would speak up about his harassment and stalkerish pimp ways. And then down here is where they were talking about like the name of his photography page. And the Miss B Nasty girl said, went from Wang World and iBaddies to Lush Legends photography. Shaking my head, just rebrands and keeps the crap going. Summer, you in danger, girl. You better lay low. No, but for real, Summer sure know how to pick them. Blink twice if you need help. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below.
Y'all, Summer is such a bird, man. She is such an embarrassment. Anyone who's a fan of this channel knows how much of a fan I was of Summer, even though she has a stage presence of a corpse. I still believe that she's very talented and love her music. Strike one, though, was when I bought concert tickets years ago and you canceled it talking about anxiety Summer, but you was the damn stripper girl. Make that make sense. Okay, whatever. Strike 2 was her dating London on the track and degrading and berating his first baby mamas, then becoming the fourth one. Child, I was still trying to extend grace because we all been dumb and made a fool by a ninja. Strike 3 was her getting knocked up by another no good ninja months later. Then that ain't work out. And instead of healing, focusing on your bag and your craft and your music and your whack stage presence, you date another ninja. You date Meech. Instead of focusing on your children and taking time to heal and be comfortable with your solitude and to love yourself, now you with an OnlyFans pimp and getting dragged because he problematic too. Side note, I'm gonna have to go in on Summer for a bit because you keep talking about all this spiritual hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft-ish. If y'all follow her on IG, she's always wearing white and talking about all this spirituality stuff. It's like, bitch, the ancestors and crystals and ish didn't tell you to stop creating soul ties with every ninja that looked your way. I'm not poking fun on her beliefs, y'all. There are some things that we agree on when it comes to her beliefs. I was a former Christian and now believe that a lot of that was lies and brainwashing. I won't delve into my beliefs, but I do practice different things to tap into my spirituality as well. But I also don't walk around wearing white, burning sage, and connecting with my ancestors, then turn around and mess with fuck niggas. Effing dudes raw, getting knocked up every other damn day. And Black women crack me up when y'all do this. Christians are like this too as well. And that's why I had to step away from the church. Y'all preach all this God and holiness, but all that comes to a screeching halt when it comes to the damn bedroom and their dating lives. They'll be so quick to tell someone they're going to hell for being gay. Thou shalt not steal and kill, but all that goes out the window when it comes to a ninja. They fornicating, shacking up, having children out of wedlock. This is similar to how Summer Walker is moving right now. Like, protect your chakras, queen. Protect your energy. Like, you wearing all this white and ish and burning incense and ish. You're harming yourself a lot more by connecting with all these demons and giving them access to your body. Oh, I have to protect my peace and regulate my nervous system and burn sage. Yeah, I'm going to become a cheating ass ninja for baby mama. I'm going to let all these F-boys who I've only known for weeks, although I have no idea what type of spiritual entities or demonic entities may be attached to them, I'm going to let all them around my children and into my womb. And I'm going to blur out my baby's eyes. That's one thing she also does. She'll post pictures of her kids, but she'll blur out their eyes. I'm going to do all that because I don't want y'all to send any bad energy their way, but then I'm going to go bring a damn pimp, an alleged ex-trafficker around my kids. Like, child, thankfully, Summer is not being implicated in any of these allegations. We'll get to many women who have experienced legal implications due to affiliating themselves with no good ninjas. However, my point is, why, being the bigger star, a millionaire, and the celebrity with so much to lose, would you even attach your brand and name to someone like this?
In the name of all that is holy, would you look at Karen Smith's gym clothes?
Of course, all the plastics are in the same gym class. Where are the plastics?
They're teen royalty. If North Shore was Us Weekly, they would always be on the cover.
We run, hey, 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 what's happening?
That one right there is Iyanla Vanzant. She's one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet. I sat next to her in law school last year and she told me I should date our bus driver. And that funny looking one over there, that's Tyler Perry. She expects women to cape and coddle broke men because she was one and we turned her into a billionaire. She also tells successful Black women to date who can pay the light bill because she secretly does the same thing. And evil takes a human form in Nicki Minaj. She's male-identified and male-worshipping, so hates other women who look like her.
Is it the thanks that I get for putting you bitches on?
She hates Black women so much, she even defends predators and married ones. She even victim blames and makes fun of DV survivors.
I call her Bigfoot. The bitch fell off. I said, get up on your good foot. Lie on a dead mama. Lie on a dead mama. Lie on a dead mama.
Are you tired of constantly being bullied by mules and mean girls? Are you sick of being told to lessen your standards and to ride or die? Are you exhausted from tolerating anything just to say you got a man? Then you're in the right place. Join the Lexus Exodus Patreon private community to meet like-minded, divested women who prioritize self first. In my Patreon, you will participate in exclusive lives, get access to exclusive content, get access to a private community of other divested women, and much, much more. Join us by visiting patreon.com/LexusExodus.
See, let's also talk about J-Lo and Carisha almost becoming casualties after getting involved in Diddy's mess as well.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signer. Look, I am catching up on this story as fast as we can, and thanks to all the comments in this weekend's video about J-Lo reminding me to look a little bit deeper into her connection regarding that club incident. Let's start here, though. Yes, sources are coming in saying that the feds are set to widen the probe to include Diddy boasting about banging, bang people, bribing jurors, and using J-Lo. So everything seemingly could come back up. That's what's crazy about this case. As all this is happening, 2 law enforcement sources told the Post that the infamous shooting and the trial could possibly be reinvestigated as part of a sweeping federal probe into Combs, now 54, and called Diddy. As we go through and actually look at this case and what happened back then, retired detective Derek Parker was the Midtown South precinct when they were brought in, talking about here the J-Lo arrest. This was in 1999, and got to go way back, guys. Diddy and his then girlfriend were arrested on weapons and bribery charges. On December 27th, Combs and Lopez, who dated from 1990 to 2001, so she stayed with them after this for a little while, were partying at a club in New York. When they were leaving, Combs bumped into a man named Matthew Scar Allen. Allen pushed back, leading to a fight, which shots were fired. 3 clubbers got injured. Combs and Lopez left the scene in his car and got pulled over after running a light. Police found a gun in the car, which led to the couple getting arrested. Idiots. They had J-Lo handcuffed to a pole. She was crying all over the place in the squad room. A police source told the Daily Mail at the time she was just upset about the whole thing. Ultimately, Lopez was absolved after reportedly being detained for 14 hours. Combs got indicted on 2 counts of criminal possession of an unregistered gun and attempted bribery for allegedly trying to get his bodyguard, Anthony Jones, to claim the weapon was his. Parker told the Post how in the precinct, her mother, J-Lo's mother, was yelling at J-Lo in Spanish, and she was really mad at Jennifer. I heard her say, "I told you not to get involved with him." Was J-Lo involved? There are many reports coming in that J-Lo got the weapon in. Now, many, though, say J-Lo did bring it in. J-Lo helped and handed it to him. That's one dispute of it. And all these accusations that, Diddy was bragging about shooting, bribing witnesses and jurors. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting. He alleged Diddy bragged about using J-Lo to smuggle the gun into the club. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun in the club for him and passed him it after he got in the altercation with another individual. Could she have actually been his gun mule? That's the question. Now, a lot of you just assume it. I get it. But what's going to be interesting is if the feds do widen this, as now speculation comes in, we may have to go back and reinvestigate that case.
Y'all see this shit that happens when you mess with these ninjas? This is crazy. And all my 80s babies and 90s kids, honestly, anyone who was into pop culture in the late 90s, early 2000s, we all remember Diddy and J-Lo vividly. I remember having a friend that was obsessed over J-Lo, and she just be gushing. Oh, look at her clothes and her hair. She's just so pretty. I remember back then thinking, this culturally appropriating white women who eat tacos don't give a damn about your black ass. So why the F are you obsessing over this woman? I guess I was always BWE because I couldn't understand it. But anyway, Gen X and millennials remember very vividly when all this happened. We were there when the club shooting happened and when rapper Shine, who was one of Diddy's artists, took the fall. And I had no idea back then that J-Lo is apparently the one who smuggled the damn gun in the club to begin with. Child. And apparently this is Diddy's MO. We know he always implicates others in his crimes. We know he allegedly had his son recruit girls for him with his ex-trafficking ring. Young Miami has also been implicated in some of these allegations as well. And we'll get more into that very shortly. But apparently J-Lo was involved in the bullish too. And it's so crazy because when I tell y'all J-Lo was America's darling, this was her heyday. This was her peak. This was around the time she wore that jaw-dropping dress, head-turning dress, that green dress, Versace dress, I think it was, to the Grammys. And J-Lo was everywhere. So the fact that she almost lost it all, dealing with this dumb-ass ninja is wild. And I'm not sure what the statute of limitations is. This all happened years ago, like 20, 30 years ago now. So I don't know what the implications are. Maybe the legal eagles in the chat can chime in to see what will happen because apparently she lied in front of a grand jury. But it don't sound good to me. But again, this is just another example why you don't affiliate with the wrong men. Let's get into Carisha as well.
Like, stop posting this. Stop posting this. We don't need y'all to post. I don't post positive about us. Y'all always trying to make us seem like we just got problems with everybody. We just these ghetto.
But we think your new nickname is gonna be Carisha Maxwell. Okay, I don't even know your last name, but we're gonna put Maxwell on it because you're the new Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, you're the chick that is the mother help to the Diddy Jeffrey Epstein operation.
When people first called out that this arrangement between Diddy and Young Miami was strange, some of y'all were stuck on romanticizing it. Y'all said she's just having fun and spending his money. And now here we are in the year 2024 with Young Miami being named in the latest allegations and lawsuit against Diddy.
Well, this TikTok user definitely has a point because a lot of fans were romanticizing Young Miami and Diddy's relationship when PPL brought up obvious red flags. But now, chickens have come home to roost, and it turns out those red flags were pointing to something even more sinister than anyone could have imagined. People are now saying that Young Miami was to Diddy what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey Epstein, and well, we all know how that ended.
A judge has sentenced former British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell to 20 years in prison.
A federal jury convicted Maxwell in December for helping her longtime associate Jeffrey Epstein recruit teenage girls.
Rumors about Young Miami being on Diddy's payroll and allegedly helping him recruit unsuspecting young women and men for his FO parties have been swirling for a while. However, the speculations reached a boiling point after Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie brought light to Diddy's nefarious deeds in her lawsuit filed in November 2023. Cassie dated Diddy for 11 years, and back then, no one really suspected anything sinister was going on. However, Cassie's bombshell lawsuit revealed that almost the entire time she dated Diddy, she was being pressured to do unspeakable things. So of course, fans immediately raised concern about Young Miami, who started dating Diddy sometime in 2021. The fans were urging her to learn from Cassie and get as far away from Diddy as possible. However, Young Miami's reaction to Cassie's revelations was extremely bizarre, and it appeared that she continued seeing Diddy on the low. This is when people started speculating that Young Miami is not an innocent victim, but could be a potential accomplice in Diddy's alleged crimes. Fast forward to February 2024, and that's exactly what Young Miami is being accused of in the new lawsuit filed against Diddy by his former producer, Rodney Lil Rod Jones. Jones alleges that Young Miami helped Diddy lure young people into situations they didn't consent to, and this led some public figures like DJ Academics to proclaim that Young Miami is Diddy's Ghislaine Maxwell. And while Young Miami was initially defiant, clapping back at fans who were mentioning Diddy in her comments, it looks like she's now panicking big time because some of the stuff described in this lawsuit is actually diabolical and could potentially lead to serious legal trouble for Young Miami. But is there any evidence that Young Miami was working as Diddy's Ghislaine Maxwell? And how will she defend herself if these allegations lead to charges? Let's break it down.
Now that just get on my nerves. Y'all know exactly what the y'all trying to do. Stop trying to play with us.
So listen, y'all, this is a hot mess. So due to Carisha affiliating herself with no good ninja Diddy, she could possibly now be going down with him and facing federal charges like he is. And this is so unfortunate. For a while, Young Miami was pretty popping. So she had a show on his network. She was all over the blog. City Girls was popping. They were popping up all over social media. But see how you can F up your life and ruin everything simply by messing with the wrong ninja? Simply by messing with the wrong dude and not divesting. I also want to talk about this next clip that went viral of a Black woman and her baby who were almost unalived because they were in the car with her boyfriend, her baby daddy, who engaged in a high-speed police chase. Ciao.
Practice selfie, bro. Pull over, bro. Just pull over and put your hands up, bro. My baby is in the car, Dayon. Bro, Dayon, just pull over. Let us out, bro.
These snooping niggas,
Bro, just let us out, bro. Let us out.
Bro, I'm not even supposed to be in this shit right now.
Bro, let us out, Dayon. Dayon, let us out, bro.
It's over with.
Dayon, let us the fuck out.
Oh, stop this.
Bro, no, I'm not relaxing when you got my baby in the car. They got guns pointed to the car. They about to hit the car, bro. You're not thinking about your baby right now. You finna get our baby too,
bro. They gonna smoke me.
You already did it the first time, bro. Don't do this shit again, bro.
Bro, I love y'all. I'm never gonna see y'all again.
Bro, we love you more, bro. You is gonna see us again, but you gotta pull over, bro. You have to, bro. Pull over with your hands in the air, Dayon.
Bro, it's over with.
Bro, Dayon, pull over.
So this is horrifying. So she's in the car with her baby daddy and her infant, and he's engaging in a high-speed police chase to get away from the cops. And she is begging and literally pleading for him to let them go, to let them out the car. And mind you, a number of things can happen in this situation. So we've seen people cause deadly car collisions doing this in high speed chases. He could wreck and cause them all to be unalive. The police could also intentionally crash into them to get them to stop. I've seen that happen. They could also put a barrier up. I've seen them put like nails in the street so the car crashes and stops. And they could also do what is very likely in this situation and turn them into bullet bags. And that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is what actually happened. So thankfully, they didn't get unalive. And she's okay and her baby is okay. However, now she's being considered an accessory to the crime because apparently she picked him up and had no idea what was going on. So she's considered complicit and now she got arrested. Now you're a felon, sis. Now you can't get a job. Now you can't get an apartment for evading the police. Now you all effed up. A single baby mama felon, all due to hanging around the wrong person. And the gag is this isn't the first time it happened, child. Y'all not gonna believe this.
Dead homies help, cuz. We going to jail, bro. Oh, it's life, cuz. Yeah, I wanna bang it out. It's over. This life, cuz. It's over. We might as well. It's over. Might as well kill ourselves. Oh, Billy not right here. Dead homies, I will bang it out. If you grab Billy, I will bang it out. Where's that? It's over there. It's in there. The dog right there, though. Oh. We can go kill ourselves, bro. They got point, bro. I'm not killing myself. What the fuck? Oh. Done, bro. You're not gonna make it out this, bro. Where the dog? Bro, it's over. I don't got enough bail for this, nigga. Oh. It's over. It's over. It's over. Warhead, it's over. Bro, Greg, it's over. They got point, they tackle cut, huh? It's over. It's over. Oh, get my Billy. Get my Billy, I'm gonna bang it up. That's our best way. Go get the hammer.
So this is his MO. This was something that he posted. So he likes to get in police standoffs and stream it live on social media. So you already knew this. The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Black women, we got to do better. Okay, so finally, I want to get into this crazy story that went viral on TikTok of a young Black woman who is facing life in Korean prison for messing with the wrong nignog. And shout out to Real Talk with Yanni, who was the first to share this. Go check out her channel. If you thought Risa Teesa's story was crazy, this one takes the cake.
I am currently facing life in prison in a foreign country. And if you've been following my account over the past year, you know that I was framed for a drug crime in a foreign country by my ex-boyfriend. So in the beginning, everything was great. So I thought. But little did I know I was being love bombed. And honestly, I feel like the type of person I am. I feel like when someone love bombs me, I'm just kind of like, I deserve that. Like, I deserve to be showered in the very beginning, you know? And that's probably not the best way to go about life. Now that I can look back at this situation, probably not the best way to go about life. So in the beginning, everything was great. So I thought, I had my job. He worked for the mayor. And we're going to get into why that's so crazy, but we're not there yet. You know, in the beginning, he told me that he made $125,000 a year. I was like, okay. That turned out to be a lie. He works for one of the largest mayors in the country. I'm thinking my background check is mostly done. Do I still do a small little background check? Yes, but I didn't go too much into detail as I usually would with background checks because I'm thinking this person works for the mayor. The background check is done. Anyway, come to find out all of that was a lie. He had only been employed with the mayor's office for a few months and had never worked for DC government prior. So here we are to the very first red flag I missed. When I first met this man, he wanted to be around me 24/7 all the time. I mean, if I was on lunch break for work, he was pulling up to my job, like, come on, let's go out to lunch, like, blah, blah, blah. And from our very first interaction, he knew that my job at the time was pretty stressful for me. Because I literally met him at happy hour while I was decompressing from my job. So it did come up the first time we met. Going back, I probably would not divulge information like that to a stranger. But he would be like, oh, come on, like, let's go out. Like, I'm gonna get you lunch. Like, come on, let's go eat. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, after I would get off work, he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna come meet you somewhere. Let's go out to dinner. Like, he quite literally wanted to take up all of my free time. And because of the place that I was in at that time, I didn't mind it. But any other time, that would probably be, or that would have probably been a red flag for me. It just wasn't a red flag in that moment. The first major red flag that I missed was him wanting to be pretty much in my skin every second. And the crazy thing about this, the crazy thing about that and allowing that to happen is that I had literally just cut off a friend right before I met him, probably like within the same month. Like, I cut her off and then met him because I had noticed that she had wanted to be around me too much. There were other things that went into play, just kind of like her wanting to be in my skin, watching me so closely, always wanting to know what I'm doing, always wanting to know where I'm at, always wanting to like know what, like, how do I do this? How do I get this job? How do I do my business? How do I da 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 da? So in the beginning, another one of the first major red flags that I missed. This is the very beginning of our relationship too. And I had went on vacation to California. I went on a girls trip and we went for, I think, the weekend, but I had planned to stay for a few days after that. I don't remember how many days that we were all staying, but I had planned to stay for a few days after, just by myself. So the last day that I was there with my friends and when I was branching off to be by myself in LA, he calls me hysterically crying. And his brother had just passed away in Virginia, and he's like boo-hoo crying, like, I can't believe this happened. His brother was like shot or killed. I can't really remember. But so I made the decision to go home from California early. I battled with myself in that moment to not do that because this man is really not that freaking important. And I wish, like, looking back on it, that I never did do that, because I think that let him know right there. That was a test on his end, like a narcissistic test. And it was a narcissistic test that I failed miserably. Looking back at it, I don't think that there was ever anyone who passed away. He never talked about it afterwards. He may have talked about that for a week. And one time I actually brought it up, like, he never went to the funeral. Like, for him to be that hysterical, did not go to the funeral. And the one time I brought it up, he looked at me like a deer in the headlights. Like, he did not know what I was talking about. So part 2 of the Menace saga, my ex will be referred to as the Menace moving forward. In the beginning, he said that he owned a house, and the house had flooded. They were like working on repairing the house, and the house was so big, it had 5 bedrooms. And it was just too big for him, and he was planning on putting the house up for rent and then like just using part of that money just for like a little apartment or something in the city. So that was like the story that I got in the beginning. Anyway, come to find out, that wasn't true. He did not own a house, and for accountability, I could have easily looked that up. I didn't. I just took what he was saying at face value. I really, quite literally, didn't think that someone could come into your life and lie as much as this person, like, lied. He was living in a house, but it was not his house. It was someone else's house. And I think the story goes that the person who owned the house was actually putting the house up for rent again and had like put him out of the house or something. So once I started letting him come over to my house, it was kind of like he always wanted to be there. He never really left. My apartment building was a party building in the city. Like, there were always parties, there were always house parties, there were always pool parties, rooftop parties, whatever the case may be. So one day I worked 2 jobs. I had a day job and a night job. And I was at my night job, and I didn't know that the Menace was like still like just in my apartment building. So people were sending me videos and pictures of him being at a house party in my apartment building, and initially I was just kind of like, that's weird.
Like, and like people are like, hey, is it okay that he's here? And I'm like, I mean, that's kind of weird. Why is he just hanging around at like my apartment complex? But like, again, didn't really take it into consideration. When I got home this night, he is like rushing to come tell me a story. And mind you, I'm getting home at like 2 a.m., maybe 3 a.m. I don't know. He's rushing to come tell me the story about how this girl at this party was trying to talk to him, was like trying to get with him, and was telling him that he was poly, that she was poly, basically insinuating that she wanted to be in a relationship with me and him at the same time. All this stuff that was not like, I'm not comprehending. I'm like that's not even the type of vibes that I give off, so I don't understand why she would like be talking to you about that. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of like, what? So I was like, okay, well, let's go up to this party. Go up to the party, nothing. So the girl ends up texting me later, and she's like, hey, like, we need to talk. So she comes to me and she's like, hey, like, he made a lot of people feel uncomfortable at that party. He made a lot of women feel uncomfortable. He was very sexual. He tried to follow somebody back to their room. He just made people feel very uncomfortable, and I really think you should like kind of reconsider like this decision on being with him. Like, basically, like, long story short, that's kind of what she was doing. And so then I go up and I start having a conversation with some of my friends who were at the party, and they were like, T, nothing happened. The person who told you that, she's been having a lot of problems in the building. She has something going on. She's starting drama with everybody. Nothing happened. He was a lot of fun. Everybody was just having fun. Nothing happened at this party. And this is multiple people telling me this at this point. So now I'm kind of like, okay, well, maybe she's just starting something. Like, what the hell? But no, she was right. Later, ended up coming out that he had actually at this particular party went into a bathroom. Another girl was in the bathroom trying to use the bathroom. He went into the bathroom, took his wee out while she was in the bathroom, and starts using the bathroom while she's in there. Other things happened, but these things didn't come out until later. He did try to apparently sexually assault some people at this party, or he did try to follow someone to her apartment. He did whip his wee out in front of somebody in a bathroom. He was being sexually inappropriate with multiple women at this party, but nobody came to me and came forth and said anything. The majority said nothing happened. He was a lot of fun. He loves you. Like, he really likes you. I can see the way he looks at you. Like, don't pay attention to what that girl said. She's lying. That's what the majority came to me saying. But had I just listened to that girl, I would not be here. So also, mind you, when they were telling me that this girl lies and not to listen to her, not to believe her, I'm instantly going into protect black men mode. Because now there is a person outside of my race who is accusing someone of being sexually inappropriate with women. And so now I'm like, all these people are saying you're lying. You're not about to do that to a black man. Alright, so this leads me to a dentist appointment that the menace had. The menace said that he had a dentist appointment. He had to get a tooth pulled. I was like, oh, like, do you need me to pick you up? And I was like, you know, are they putting you under, putting you on like laughing gas or anything? Do you need me to pick you up? And he was like, no. They said that they don't need to put me under. They're just numbing the mouth. So I'll be good. I'll be able to see you afterwards. So he comes back from his dentist appointment, has gauze in his mouth, and is like, man, my tooth hurts so bad. Like, it was so bad. They didn't finish the extraction. They only took out like half the tooth, and they were like literally pulling on it. And I don't even think like it was ready to come out. They couldn't get the whole tooth out. And he's like, I need Percocets. And I'm like, they didn't give you pain medication? And he's like, nah, they didn't send it in yet. Like, I need something right now. Like, you know anybody who has something right now? And I'm like, no, like, I have Tylenol. You want some Tylenol? So after this day, I noticed that he wasn't at work for a few days. And so I'm like, you haven't been going to work? And he's like, nah, since I had gotten back from the dentist appointment, they told me to stay home because they could just tell that I was just so out of it at work. Want to leave. I didn't want to go home, but like they just told me I was so out of it. And I was like, well, you told them you could work and you didn't want to go home? He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, they can't tell you that you have to leave. So one day, this same week, we go to one of his best friend's house. It's his best friend, their family, and their dad. We're there, we're cool, and they're like, oh, let's pop a bottle with you. And I was like, oh, wait, like, we didn't bring anything. I was like, nah, the menace, we need to go to the store and we need to bring something. Like, I'm not coming here empty-handed. Like, they just fed me. They just popping a bottle now. Like, nah, like, I don't move like that. Like, go to the store, go get a bottle. We go to the store, get a bottle, come back, pull up in the driveway. Pull up in the driveway, and the menace gets a phone call. The phone call is HR. The mayor's office just fired the menace. While I'm in the car, I hear the entire phone call. It was extremely brutal. They were literally on the phone like, we don't have to tell you why we fired you. Just know we're firing you. We're letting you go. And I'm like, oh. So we're in the driveway of his friend's house and we walk inside. My face is bloodshot. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, what do I do right now? I'm in a relationship with this guy. He just lost his job. And I really don't want to stay with him beyond losing his job. And I think that was written all over my face. And my intuition at this moment was like, leave him right there. Like, leave him at his friend's house. Go ahead, pull up out of that driveway and leave him at his friend's house. But inherently, I'm not a bad person. So I'm there and the dad of his friend like pulls me to the side and is talking to me. And it's like, man, he's like a really good guy. Like, you know, don't give up on him. Like, I know like he lost his job. Like, it's not, you know, he'll get another job. Like, don't do that to him, man. Like, don't give up on him. Like, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. This is a 60, 70 something year old man, like talking to my 20 something year old behind, telling me that this man is a good man and don't give up on him. He's a good guy. Like, just take care of him. Just take care of him. So I'm sitting at this friend's house and the friend is starting to tell me stories about old stories and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, man, he used to be so wild. I don't know what you're doing. Like, you're doing such a great job with him. He used to be so wild. He's like, well, you know, when his parents died, he got into drugs and was just doing really bad. And, you know, he's clean now. He's doing good now. Like, but he just like, he spiraled. Both of his parents died in a short period of time. He spiraled out of control. Like, but he's clean. Like, he's been good. He's been good for a while. Mind you, this man told me that his parents died in 2019 around the same time my dad died. He trauma bonded with me over that. He said his dad died on a holiday. My dad died on a holiday in 2019. I don't know if his dad really died on a holiday. I have no freaking idea. To fast forward to this point, his parents, his dad had just died months before he and I met. And I had no idea. So when this friend is trying to tell me that he was on drugs around the time his parents died, his friend is literally talking about like yesterday. Some time is going by and I've started noticing little changes in his personality. And one day, he walks into my house mumbling, like just babbling off at the mouth. I don't know. I'm really not making out too many words that he's saying. And I'm kind of like, okay. So the next day, once he's talking normal again, I was like, what was that? And he's like, what? And I'm like, you were just mumbling words yesterday. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he was like, oh yeah, I was just really drunk. I was really drunk, like really drunk. Yeah, my bad. I was just really drunk. And in that moment, I was like, you were not drunk. That is not alcohol. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to ever see it again. If I see it again, we will not be together. So after this conversation, he starts talking about how he would never try boat and how he would never try meth. Okay, that's random. Like, all right. And he's like, yeah. Like, I would never try boat. I would never try meth because like, I think I would end up being addicted to those things. So I would just never try them. Like, do you see these people out in DC and like what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. And like how they are on the streets? I would never try boat. And I would never try meth. So I'm like, okay, what's boat? What's that? And he goes into this whole spill of what boat is. Long story short, it's PCP, and it's a slang word for PCP in DC. So moving forward from there, I started noticing that my tolerance for liquor was getting really low. And my tolerance for liquor really isn't that low. Like, I can go shots for shots. I can go rounds for rounds. Like, my tolerance for liquor was not low. Cutwater was my thing back then. If you live in DC, you know, like, or just in the States, like some places, if you know, you know. Cutwater was my thing back then. And he, like, was always bringing gifts. Every time I saw him, he always had a gift, always had something. And a lot of times it was, like, a new thing of Cutwater. And I couldn't figure it out. Like, I was just like, okay, maybe I need to cut back on Cutwater. But it was like anything or anytime I was drinking with him, my tolerance was so low. My migraines started increasing. Like, I've always been prone to migraines, and it just started taking me like way longer than usual to get over. And my brain started getting like really foggy, and it just started getting really weird brain wise. It just started getting really weird, really foggy, and like really jumbled. And I was just kind of like, what the like, what is going on? What the like, what? Like, this is not, yeah, no. Like, even, like, I had stopped drinking liquor and was just drinking wine. Even, like, sometimes I would just be like chilling out, drinking wine. Like it would happen. And the culprit is that I was always around him. Fast forward to knowing what I know now, I was being drugged. And so he started working overtime and underhandedly trying to get me addicted to drugs. All right. So now I'm getting headaches consistently, migraines consistently. This person is now living in my house and I'm getting consistent migraines. I'm going back and forth to my doctor. My doctor's trying to figure out what's going on. We're doing brain scans. We're getting blood work. We're doing all this stuff trying to figure out why, like, I'm getting migraines the way that I'm getting them. He's switching in and out my medicines. Like, he's giving me sample medications, like, try this, try that, try this. And we're going through this whole thing of me trying to fix these migraines. So in the midst of having all these migraines and stuff, the menace is like, you really need to try Percocets. Like, I promise you, like, it'll work. Like, just try Percocets. And he's begging me for some time to try these Percocets. And I'm like, no, my doctor got it. Like, my doctor will handle it, figuring it out. I need to have a medication that works for me, like, going into Korea anyway. So, like, we'll figure this out. You feel me? And the menace is begging me to try Percocets. So eventually, I finally try Percocets. And immediately, I'm like, why does this feel different? Because I have been prescribed Percocets in the past, multiple times. And so he's like, it's 30 milligrams. Like, you've probably only been prescribed 5 or 10 milligrams. Like, it's 30 milligrams. That's why, like, it feels different. Like, it's the same. It's just Percocets. It's just a higher dosage. I'm sure you can guess by now what those Percocets were. The Percocets was fent. They were Fetty. So now we are in an attempted situation. He gave me a medication, made it out to be something else, and it was actually something laced with something extremely deadly. So fast forward, one day, he and I are watching TV and talking to his sister's fiance. We're all hanging out. His sister has taken a nap and we're all hanging out. Me and his sister's fiance are like kind of like laughing, joking about certain things that probably happened throughout the day. I can't really remember the conversation or anything like that. The menace gets up. He's upset, visibly upset. And he starts walking out of the room. So obviously at this point now, I have to leave with him because out of respect, I'm not going to be up here with this woman's fiance by myself, you know? And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, because you want to have sex with my sister's fiance. I'm sorry, repeat that? What was that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He doesn't say anything. We go downstairs and I go off. We are in this house and we are in this guest room and I am going off. And I was like, you need to walk your behind back upstairs and you need to apologize to your sister's fiance. Now, he leaves the room, goes upstairs, comes back and is like, yeah, he didn't even hear me. You're tripping. Like, he didn't even hear me. He didn't even hear me. Y'all, when I tell y'all there's no way that man did not hear him. And I'm literally going off. And I'm like, you are that jealous and that insecure that you would literally put something like that in the atmosphere of your sister's home. All right, part 8. I told y'all in the previous video that part 8 was about SA. This is a hard story to tell. I tried to record the story multiple times. The waterworks started to flow. So now I'm trying to re-record it again without any waterworks and just get through it. It is important to know about this part of the story that I could not remember any of the events that I am going to tell you. I dealt with dissociative amnesia and could not remember any of this stuff until I got to Korea, until I started reporting this man to the police station. And I distinctly remember sitting down at the police station and asking the policeman for a break because a flood of memories just came in that I did not have before. They looked at me and they said, we understand. This always happens to people who are dealing with a lot. February 14th, 2023. Valentine's Day. I come in from work. My apartment building has decorated the lobby. It's Valentine's Day. They have champagne. They have hors d'oeuvres, chocolate covered strawberries, all the whole nine. We grab a glass of champagne. We go upstairs. I open my little gifts. My gifts include a box of Cutwater. By this time, some people are asking, was I just taking care of him? From what I know, he was living off of his inheritance. He had gotten some of his inheritance money from his sister. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's what I know. So we drink a glass of champagne. We take a nap, get up. And he has already opened a can of Cutwater for me. And it's like, come on, let's start drinking. So we drink Cutwater. We leave out. We go to this play. We get a drink from this play. And I think I may have had a couple of drinks from this plate, but not enough to be drunk. The whole time I kept saying, how am I this drunk? How am I this drunk? I don't understand how I'm this drunk. This is like not me even. And he's like, you know, you probably because you mix liquor, you know, like the Cutwater was tequila and then you had something else at the play or whatever, probably because you mix. Yeah, I know how I am when I mix. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. So we get back to the house. He wanted to go out and do more stuff. I was like, absolutely not. I do not feel myself. I need to go home. We get back to the house. He looks at me and he goes, are we going to have sex tonight? I jokingly respond, ha ha ha, we'll see. He looks at me and his face structure is not the same. His eyes have no color. They're black. And he goes, I'm surprised I haven't forced you yet. I forced all my women. I look at him and I say, you mean grape? And he says, it's not grape if you're with someone. That'll be extremely hard to prove. He proceeds to pin me down to the bed, pins my arms down, pins my legs down, and is moving forward and forcing himself on me. I am now fighting him off of me. As you can see by now, I have been drugged. So I do not have any body strength to fight like I usually could. I proceed to bite him on his neck and I think on his shoulder up here to get him off of me. That was the only form of defense that I had at this point. The next flash of memory I have is my body and head being slammed against the wall and me being choked unconscious. The next flash of memory that I have is him FaceTiming my mother and telling my mother that I just randomly attacked him. I am so drunk and I randomly attacked him out of nowhere for absolutely no reason. He is now on the phone manipulating my mother into a storyline so that I will not be able to speak my truth to her, I guess. The next flash of memory I have is me putting him out of my home, trying to get him out. He is refusing to leave. Those memories may not be in chronological order. They are flashes of memories that I have from that night. The next day, I wake up. And I'm instantly looking over at him and I'm like, what happened last night? He has this complete look of guilt on his face that immediately starts to go away when he realizes that I truly cannot remember what happened. He then starts to once again create the narrative that I randomly attacked him out of nowhere. I then start getting flashes of memories in my brain, taking me back to a time when I was in elementary school and a high schooler, I believe he was a middle schooler or a high schooler, I don't know, in elementary school tried to essay me. My brain is going back to that time, a time that I haven't thought about in years. I wake up while I'm getting up and I now realize that my hoo-ha is in a lot of pain. I look at my body and I have bruises all down my legs and I have a handprint bruise on my arm. And now I'm starting to ask, did we have intercourse the prior night? He's like, no, absolutely not. You were so drunk. I would never touch you like that. I'd never touch you like that. Like, blah, blah, blah. You were just so drunk and out of it. For the next week, I am in bed. I cannot get up out of bed. My body did not want to function. My brain did not want to function. And I could not figure out what was going on. I could not put anything together because I had no memories of anything to put together. The only thing that I had was a flashback of something that happened to me in elementary school. So from what I know now, his statement about forcing all of his women is a lot. There's a lot of truth to that. I have spoken to other people who have confirmed that SA and coming to terms with what happened to me that night a very long time. This is why women don't report. Sometimes we really don't know. We don't remember. It comes back later. The narcissist, the menace, would not let me sleep. I could not have a full night of sleep with this person around. This man was getting me into sleep deprivation consistently. Imagine being drugged and not knowing it. Imagine going into sleep deprivation. There's clearly going to be a lot of things that you miss. When I got to the point where I'm like, yo, I need to do something, like everything's out of order. This is not how my life is. And I'm starting to get back into meditation, stretching and everything. The narcissist is interrupting. He was interrupting my meditations. He would not allow me to meditate. He would not allow me to stretch. And he would not allow me to journal in peace. He had to interrupt everything that I was doing for myself. And this is what narcissists do. They get you in a state of confusion. They get you in a state of confusion so that your reality no longer feels like your reality. Part 10 of the Menace saga, the marriage license.
remember this story because it's coming up later. So as we get closer and closer to going to Korea, the menace is very adamant about wanting to marry me. And in the beginning, it kind of made sense because it was like, unless we were married, he could not be in Korea beyond 3 months. But as I started thinking more and more about it, it was kind of like, outside of that, there's no other benefit. And what am I benefiting? For me, I've always told myself that marriage is more so a business. It's a business transaction. For me, that's just how I feel about it. Starting to look at it in a business way and not a, oh, I love you way. And I'm like, no. You're not getting half of my funds. No. So once again, I'm asking the menace questions that I have already asked. What's your credit score? What's in your financial background? Do you have any evictions? What's there? No, I don't have any of that. My credit score is good. Like, I have a great credit score. He does not have a great credit score, and he does have evictions in his background. Information I found out later. So also, I'm like, what is your criminal history? Is there anything in your criminal history that I need to know about? Even before, like, you were 18, is there anything in there that I need to know about? If I have anything in my criminal history, I've already told you that. Come to find out, after everything hit the fan in Korea, this man has been to court over 20-something times and has multiple charges, and most of them are drug related. Surprise. So this information was important for me to have because I have a security clearance. I cannot take on debt. I cannot have bad credit with a security clearance. And I can also not marry a felon or someone with a criminal history. I cannot be closely associated with a felon or someone with a criminal history. It was imperative that I knew that information, and he was aware that it was imperative that I knew that information, and he still held it from me. He knew that going against that information would cause me my job. And he still tried to move forward with the marriage. One day, I wake up and he's sitting on my couch and he's like, I applied for our marriage license. Like, aren't you happy? And I'm like, how? Like, huh? How? So I tell him in this moment that I am not marrying him. Like, I see no reason to marry him. One, like, I want a wedding. I want, like, the whole 9, baby. Like, I'm not eloping, period. So I said, we can go get the marriage license. I'm not signing it. You're not signing it. It will not be officiated. But if I feel like you are my person and within the 5 years of being in Korea, I want to marry you and we have a wedding abroad, then okay, we'll already have the license. Going and getting that marriage license is going to come back to bite me in the behind. This man knew that marrying me would cost me my job, and he still was trying to marry me. His end goal, his plan was to always ruin my life, was to dismantle everything that I had built. Why I came to Korea. In 2022, I made the decision that that would be my last year in Washington, D.C. I was living in Washington, D.C. That was my last year. I had been talking about it for over a year. When people said, are you going to renew your lease? Are you going to renew your lease? I was like, no. I don't know where life is taking me, but I'm getting up out of D.C. this year. So I applied for other jobs in other states and in Korea. Accepted into the jobs that I applied for, and I chose Korea. I chose Korea because I had always wanted to live abroad. That was just always a thing that I wanted to do, and that's why I chose Korea. Actually, the menace was not coming with me to Korea. That was never a part of the original plan. The menace was working for the mayor, and I was going off to other things, and that's where it was going to end. And the menace lost his job for the mayor, so it just seemed like at the time, well, dang, things are lining up. Maybe it's just fate that you're able to come to Korea. I realize now that him losing his job was not fate for him to come to Korea. It was just a red flag for me to leave. I found out later that the menace told everyone pretty much that he knows, his friends and everything, that he was the one who got a government job in Korea and that I followed him here. That is not the truth. Menace told everyone that when he was leaving, that I stole everything from him. I stole his home because everything in Korea was his. That is not the truth. Menace followed me to Korea with no job. And the plan was for him to get a job on base because he was already working for the DC government for years. So I said, well, it'll be so easy for you to get a federal government job because you've already been working for DC government for years. As we know now, he is not working for DC government for years. He was only employed at the mayor's office
for some months. So that is how I got to Korea. And that is a part of the destiny swap. The menace put me in his life path facing felonies, and he went off to convince the world that my life was his. Part 12 of the Menace saga, the background check. According to the Menace, he was born and raised in Washington, D.C. He lived in Northeast D.C. all of his life. He drove me around his neighborhood, showed me where his cousins lived, showed me where his dad lived, showed me where his whole happy family lived together in a house. He showed me where he got shot as a teenager. He said he was walking to the store for his mother and got hit with a stray bullet when he was a teenager, and that's why his stomach looks the way that it does. Come to find out, all of that information is false information. It is not true. He was not born nor raised in Washington, D.C. He never got shot. The stomach issue was just a hernia. So yes, I did do a background check. I looked in all the wrong places. He told me that he lived in DC and at some point he lived in PG County. So when I went to do my background check, that's where I looked. I don't know about y'all, but the only way I know how to do a background check is by going to the state and then going to the counties that that person has lived in. I don't have the database to just pull from every freaking state. If anybody does, let me know. This is the final backstory before segueing into Korea. This story is important because a lot of things from this story pops up later. This takes place a week before leaving for Korea. This is my going away party. Weeks before my going away party, I tell the Menace, we have to do your hair. You look like Ish. We got to do your hair for this going away party. Like, you know, you're not, like, that's crazy. So he's consistently putting stuff off. Before the going away party, he told my mother that he was handling all the liquor. He was going to buy all the liquor for the going away party because he hadn't contributed anything to this up to this point. So then the morning of the going away party, I'm finally like, bro, you have to sit down. We have to do your hair. This is early in the morning too, like 5, 6 a.m. in the morning that I'm like, come on, like, let's get up. Let's do your hair. He's fidgeting. He's moving around, like getting up, like will not sit down. A process that would take 30 minutes ended up taking like 3 hours. And he still did not get the liquor for the going away party. So now, before his hair is even finished and he's doing all this and we're going into 2 and 3 hours of doing hair, I'm like, bro, I'm about to leave. I'm going to Costco. Like, I haven't even showered. I haven't done anything for myself yet because you won't sit down. So I'm like, I'm out. He's like, you're not leaving this house until you're finished with my hair. I'm like, so I get out of the house. He's supposedly following me to Costco on his motorcycle. He gets to Costco. I'm already at Costco and I'm shopping and he's finally at Costco maybe like 30 minutes later, and he's like, I had this whole anxiety attack on my bike. You're giving me all this anxiety. You're giving me all this PTSD. You're treating me like my mom used to treat me. And I mean, just going in Costco, making this whole scene and making it all about him. I'm like, bro, I don't care. So he takes everything that I already have out the cart and he's like, no, this isn't what we're getting. This isn't what we're getting. This isn't what we're getting. So I'm like, all right, fine. You go shopping then. I'm like, I'm done at this point. Like, you go shop. He starts picking up a whole bunch of snacks, chips, snacks, stupid stuff. My mom already took care of the food. So, no liquor. Your agreement was to get liquor. So he picks up all these snacks, purchases them on food stamps. I get back to the house and my friends and my family, they're coming down to get all the stuff out of the car, out of the Uber. He's not there. It's like 30, 45 hours till he even arrives. And so he comes up and now I'm starting to introduce him to my friends, family, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I'm not even dressed yet. I haven't even got dressed because this man just ruined the entire morning. I see his aunt. Mind you, he may have had like 4 or 5 people at this going away party. I had like upwards of 100. I see his aunt and his aunt's like, where's the Menace? Like, tell the Menace to come up here to his party. And I'm like taking a little bit aback because I'm like, his party? I don't say nothing. I let it slide. I'm like, all right. Whatever. I'm a little tipsy by now anyway. Everybody from this going away party is like giving me cards. Everybody's giving me cards. I didn't have any gifts. Everybody was giving me cards and giving me money. And I had one gift. So all of my cards went into this one bag with my gift. All right, that's gonna come about later. After the going away party, everybody is like downstairs in my apartment. We're getting ready to go out. I can't find my card that everyone gave me with their nice words and nice encouragement and money. I cannot find them anywhere, and I'm going off. This obviously completely ruins the end of the night because I'm like, who? Where's my where is it? And I'm starting to go through everybody's stuff. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I did not suspect this man. I did not suspect him. I really, truly did. I should have, but I did not. Now a wedge is starting to be built between like me and my family because I'm now cursing everybody out and telling everybody to get the hell out of my house because who stole my stuff. And it ruins the last night that I've had with my family. Y'all, this is the point of the story where I have to stop talking about this. I'm so sorry. I know that y'all want to know more, but this is the end of talking about this situation. I will come back and I will tell you all everything that transpired, but y'all gotta wait.
But when I'm not even sure what to say at this point. So I told myself I wouldn't be as hard on this young woman as I was on Reesa Teesa. Reesa Teesa was a damn college-educated woman, well into her 30s, who worked at a freaking police station. So she should have known better. This girl looks like a baby. When I was her age, I was also very young and dumb and made similar mistakes. By the grace of God, the consequences I experienced were nowhere near as extreme as the ones that she's experiencing. Goddamn. So I don't even know where to start. I guess we can start at the top. So she met this dude who she says openly and admittedly that he love bombed her in the beginning. But she says that she was aware of that, but enjoys being love bombed because she deserves to be spoiled. Child, she goes on to say that he was obsessed with her and wanted to be around her every waking second. Goes as far as to say he wanted to be quote unquote in her skin. In her skin, that's what she says, which pisses me off because she keeps saying that. But then in the same breath says that she had to cut off a female friend who also quote unquote always wanted to be in her skin because the girl was asking her questions about her career and about how she got to be where she's at. It's like, really? Like, Black women, y'all always cutthroat with other Black women. Y'all don't show no grace at all. Make all the exceptions in the world, though, for these dirty-ass niggas. She says early on, he even tried to assault her friends at a party where he wasn't even invited to. But she ignored it all because this was coming from a white woman. This news was coming from a white woman, and she says it was because, verbatim, she was in her protect Black man mode. Child. His friends even openly talked about how he was drug addicted at one point and how crazy he was. She says his sister even told her he's problematic. She goes on to say, trigger warning, that the ninja drugs her and grapes her. Yet after all this, she decided it made sense to move to North Korea and to bring him along and to get a marriage license to marry him. I'm going to let that breathe because this is crazy. This drug addicted, unemployed, food stamp using, missing tooth, toothless ass struggle nigga, this broke ass ninja, she decided that made sense to move abroad with him and to take him along with her while she moved to North Korea for her career. Like, seriously, here's a picture of homeboy I wanted to show you guys. They apparently found this dude online in an old video with her. She talks about, he said he made $125,000 when they initially met. Does he look like he made $125,000 to y'all? Furthermore, let's put looks aside. Would a childless person making six figures walk around with a missing tooth using EBT, y'all? Like, be fucking for real. Then she says him losing his job she thought was fate, that it was meant to be for them to be together and to move to Korea together because otherwise they were going to part ways after she moved to this other country. And in the same breath, this girl said she didn't hurry and marry him, but just got a marriage license because she understands marriage is a business. Yet you got a marriage license with a broke, unemployed, drug addict, rapist girl. Jesus, take me now. Make it make sense, y'all. I can't. And apparently this escalated to the point where she's now facing life in prison because he smuggled drugs there and blamed it on her, framed her for it. She hasn't expounded yet because the niggly booms and ran her off the internet, y'all. So she hasn't posted again. This has gone viral earlier, weeks ago, maybe about 3-4 weeks ago. She hasn't posted again because she was facing so much backlash, people calling her a liar. However, I did look at her page and saw that she also posted these.
Y'all look at me. Do y'all want to know what I decided to do this year? I decided to take on a man-child, to take on the responsibility of a man-child. I decided to invite someone with me on a beautiful journey to experience life overseas. And do y'all want to know what this man did? Smuggled drugs into this country. Beat my ass. Drugged me. Literally poisoned me with fentanyl. Cheated on me. And the whole time, I'm obviously dealing with all of this alone in another country. And I'm trying so hard not to make this man homeless. And so do you want to know what happens when I finally build up the strength to be like, yo, you really got to go. I'm not doing it anymore. You got to go. You want to know what this man did? Tried to get me fired from my job. Sabotaged my reputation. Showed naked videos. Tried to sabotage my reputation. Showed naked videos of me to my coworkers. Tried to frame me for his drug smuggling. And stole from my house.
So on April 28th, 2020, the same man that I'm speaking about in my Stitch video framed a teacher for drug trafficking in Lexington or Rockbridge, Virginia. If you have any information on this or know who this woman is, please contact me. We are trying to assist in helping her get out of prison and clear her name. Again, and please like, comment, boost this freaking post as much as you can so it gets to the right people so that we can help this woman. Again, April 28th, 2020, a teacher was framed in Lexington or Rockbridge, Virginia, for drug trafficking. They were stopped at a traffic stop. 2 other individuals were involved. They were both members of Omega Psi Phi. One of the individuals in the vehicle with her was her boyfriend at the time. The drugs were found in her personal belongings. It's alleged that she was charged with possession of high amounts of marijuana and fentanyl pills. She was charged with possession of Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 drugs with the intent to distribute. All of this information is alleged. There are multiple people who are aware of this information and are aware that the man that I'm speaking of in my last video framed her for the drug trafficking. So if anyone has any information on this, please contact me. We are trying to find this woman, trying to help her get out of prison. And if she's already out of prison, at the least help her clear her name so that she can move on with her life.
So not only that, he done shared this woman's nudes with relatives, also allegedly has another woman in prison due to his antics that she was trying to find. Black woman, you will ruin your life over partnering with the wrong person. Do you hear me? I'm not being hyperbolic. It is not an understatement. It is not an exaggeration. The person that you choose to procreate with, to partner with, or to marry is one of the single most important decisions you can make in your entire life because it can either make or break you. This girl had everything going for her. She worked for the government. She's in her early 20s. She looks like no older than 25. Had her own apartment, her own things, educated, had a security clearance, was able, so successful that she was able to afford to uproot her life and go to North Korea because of the career moves that she made. Now, all that thrown away because she decided to mess with a stupid knick-knock. Y'all, I can't with this. I'm going to keep tracking this story. I hope that she does eventually come back to tell us the rest of this story because I want to get the tea. Like, what's going on? How did he manage to frame her for this nonsense? And you know, North Korea don't play, especially when it comes to foreigners. And I'll keep y'all posted. However, in the meantime, I'm really curious to hear y'all's thoughts about this. What was y'all's reaction to this story? Also, can you relate to making some poor decisions with your partners when you were young as well? In addition, why do you think Black women collectively like to do all this work and due diligence to remove ourselves and pull ourselves up out of poverty and out of crime-ridden areas, all to sacrifice it all with messing with problematic nignogs? Why? I'm so curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
Even if you think I should, bitch, nigga, I don't give.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, you can please bring it to the sound stage. Red iPhone, appreciate it.